I've been familiar with 4Sevens flashlights for a few years now. You're seeing the 4Sevens Mini 123, one of the first 4Sevens that I bought. I think this was back in 2010, and you know, it still works very well. So it's one of those iconic flashlights. I learned about 4Sevens back in the day when it was first getting attention in the candle power forums. They were the guys that were doing the crazy bright small flashlights with always updated Cree LEDs, and you know, it still works very well. I mean, it's a fantastic little flashlight. There's, you know, it was one of the first thumb-sized eye-scorching flashlights, and it's very simple. It has that very simple user interface. You just twist it to turn it on, twist it again to turn it off, and you can cycle through the different modes depending on the level of brightness. And then you have those hidden modes that you can get to if you just cycle that way. You have the strobe, you have the SOS, beacon, and all that sort of stuff. And I mean, I just liked it. I liked it so much, in fact, that I got another one. And it's this one that you see. This one, 4Sevens Q Mini 123 in titanium. Same thing. Well, it's not the same thing because this one is it has a high color rendering LED coloration, which is, you know, slightly warmer, just to put it in simple terms. This one is a cold white, a little bit brighter. But yeah, I used this one for a long time, and one of the things that I liked is that it was made in titanium. That gives you a long-lasting finish. You know, these things last for a long time, and you know, the durability is quite good. Sometimes the material used, such as this one, does not really match how well built they are. So even though it will still be functional, because of the aluminum construction, it's weird, kind of starts looking, it starts becoming visible. Not so much with titanium. That's why I like titanium stuff in general. You know, my watch is made of titanium, my multi-tool is made of titanium as well. And the thing is that even though these last quite a bit of time, the LED emitter that you're seeing right now, that's still advancing technology. It's still constantly improving in surprising ways. The Cree emitter, even though it's very efficient, very bright and such, there's always little steps forward. Sometimes it's not worth upgrading to, sometimes it is. This is the XPG R5 emitter. You see it and you recognize because of those two little dots that you see. But as things keep advancing and such, you have a better technology available, and that takes us to this guy here, which is a topic of this video. We're going to be reviewing the 4Sevens Mini MA, which uses a AA battery. And one of the nice things about it is that it's using one of the most modern Cree emitters that there is around, the XPG 2. Again, titanium construction, satin finish. It's one of those things that at least to me it adds a little bit of extra value. You know, it's just nice to have an EDC flashlight for all the reasons that I always talk about. It's just one of those things that you just have to have in your pocket. Besides a pocket knife, multi-tool, and of course your wallet, cell phone, flashlight is this thing that you just don't know when. It's not just about something that is handy, you know, to just, you know, check something out and such. It may end up, no kidding, saving your life depending on what's happening. Some of the most common disasters that we see, you know, anything from floods to sinking ships. By the way, folks, if you haven't seen the surviving a sinking boat video, please do so, because it's the kind of thing that if you are unlucky enough that you find yourself one day in that same situation, it may save your life. And this is the thing that just may end up doing that. A flashlight this bright is gonna be allowing you to signal your position in the dark. When, you know, of the 24 hours, half of those are of darkness, and this allows you to make your position noticeable, visible to rescue teams, to people around you, It's not just a handy tool for everyday little tasks. It may be a very big deal during those disasters where you just have to make your position noticed. And it's just about how bright it is. It's also about the modes that it has. All these little modes that these flashlights have, they may seem like an inconvenience for some people. I think that they're valuable. I think that they do have a place, because in that rare case where you just have to make your position noticed, which it may be anything. I mean, for me, it was a few years ago, a car problem that I had in the middle of a very heavily trafficked road, lots of cars at high speed and almost no lights, and we just had to walk across it. And having a little flashlight that actually had that strobe made all the difference. I mean, sure, you could have used a normal flashlight. It would have been visible, but the strobe was definitely something that it was more noticeable by all means. It clearly was something that got other drivers' attention. So let's get to it, see what we have here, what it comes with in our little packaging box. You have a normal cardboard box, nothing to write home about really, very simple. Has some of the specifications, includes the flashlights, one mini lanyard and O-ring, one battery, alkaline AA battery, and here you have some information regarding the flashlight. But the thing is, this is the information, and here's a criticism. I understand that the technology keeps advancing and such, but 4Sevens should really update their packaging as soon as they update their technology. It's kind of a of a shame that they don't put the actual specifications, because these are no longer good because of the XPG Gen 2 Cree LED emitter. So all these things, at least most of these, are no longer referring to the actual flashlight that you have. This is what you get in the box. You have another battery, AA battery, and you have this lanyard, which is a pretty nice lanyard, and I suggest using it because it helps keep your good hold of your light. Maybe a little bit too long. That would be one of the criticisms I would make, even though I understand some people find it useful to keep it around the neck. And you know what? Even though you have a little bit more of cord, and it can be a little bit bulky and tangles and such, during an emergency, you will be very happy to have this, because keeping it around your neck, it's one of the best ways to avoid losing your flashlight, which is a life-saving tool in that situation. Good construction in general, solid split ring, and it's not going to be falling apart. That's for sure. And you have a small little bag here with a spare O-ring. Nice little touches, because you just those O-rings sometimes do, not always. I have some of them that have lasted for years, but sometimes they do break. So it's good to have that there. And regarding the manual, before we get started looking at what we have in there, let's take a look at the real specs of the 4Sevens. We have an increase between the XPG R5, which is pretty much this one that I was showing you guys before, and the XPG2, which is the one currently being used. You identify it by this one doesn't have those two dots. It has just I don't know if you get to see it. It has just one dot. Focus. Just one dot on that corner. That's one of the ways in which you identify the XPG2. Instead of having the run times that we were seeing here in the box, 90 lumens as a maximum, 2.7 lumens on low, 60 hours longest run time, these are the specs currently that you have. Maximum, it has an increased 20% increase of brightness and efficiency. You have maximum lumens of 108 lumens, minimum lumens of 3.2. I think that's a little bit too bright for a minimum mode. I like a little bit less, like a true moonlight mode, maybe 1 lumen. would be better. And you have the medium mode of about 30 lumens that lasts for about 22 hours. Runtime on the maximum output is 108. On the 108 lumens, it is 1 hour, which is kind of weird because that doesn't match up with a 20% increase in efficiency. In terms of runtime, I suppose we're keeping a conservative figure. I'm sure that after an hour it still keeps on running, but not at 108 lumens, at least for some time. And on the minimum mode, the 3.2 lumens, it's going to be 100 hours. That's crazy. 100 hours of runtime. That's the kind of thing I like, because in some situations you don't need a crazy brightness. You do need long runtime. In blackouts that last for several days and such, this little guy, this little pocket EDC flashlight with a nice satin titanium finish that looks, almost like a little piece of jewelry, it's gonna be giving you that. And of course, using the Cree XP-G2 emitter. The Cree XP-G2 also has one of the differences between the XP-G, like the R5 that we were seeing before, is that it focuses a little bit better. It gives you a little bit better throw, which I personally like. I think that's another interesting improvement compared to the R5. The R5 is a tad more floaty. The XP-G2 has a little bit of a better throw. The coloration, I would say it's it's like a vanilla white with a slightly green tint, very, very slight green. Doesn't bother me really at all, and it has no artifacts. As you see, it has a pretty nice hotspot, which, as I was saying before, focuses better throw than the XP-G R5. Of course, keep in mind this is a CR123A battery. This is a AA battery, so of course this one is much brighter. But just taking a look at the different tints of color, nice light pattern. I mean, no artifacts, nothing strange going on. The reflector has that. It's a light orange peel, which is a good way of describing it. Which does a pretty good job. I think it's a little bit, it's pretty similar to the way it used to be, and that's okay. It works well. It works well because it gives you a nice hot spot for close work, and sometimes it's a little bit troublesome when you have those artifacts, those darker circles around, maybe a little bit more confusing. A nice spill, a nice even spill like that, it's pretty handy and nice to have. So you have that O-ring there, you have the threads, and of course battery positive on that side. Again, the idea of a little flashlight like this that will last so long, it's nice. I mean, as time goes by, it will not show the wear that kind of looks good in some cases, but to be honest, eventually just looks like worn and beaten, while titanium keeps looking pretty awesome in spite of use. Looking at the manual just to see some of the stuff that we have, impact resistance, I think it is about 1 meter. Water resistance, do we have any information regarding that? Not really, but it is adequately waterproof. So the way you access the different modes is typical mini 4.7 setup. To select different output levels, turn the mini MA off and then turn it on again within 1 second. This will select the next level of output in the following sequence: low, medium, high. Right, low, medium, high. As we saw, the mini has 4 special output modes: strobe, SOS, beacon high, and beacon low. To access these modes, you quickly switch through 2 full cycles of the regular output, starting with low. The 2 full cycles must be completed within 3 seconds. You just get used to it eventually. After beacon low mode, the output reverts back to regular low. Both beacon modes will first flash 5 times and then once every 10 seconds. So it's a little bit of a distress signal thing. I like it. I think that in some cases where you are maybe wounded, where you think, maybe a car accident, and it's nighttime, it's dark, and you feel you're losing blood, you're about to pass out, and at least if you have a little bit of that consciousness left, you access those different modes. What we were seeing here before, this is the strobe mode, the SOS mode, beacon high, and beacon low. If I would be in a place, maybe wilderness, kind of disaster scenario where I don't know if they're gonna be looking for me, and maybe it will take not just several hours, maybe even days, and I don't know if I'm not gonna be able to keep up, consciousness. Then maybe this is the output that you want to have, something that will preserve battery and still emit a signal that would be visible by a rescue team looking for you. It's gonna be, just putting a little bit of light out there every once in a while. But if maybe it's more of a thing that I think cars are passing by and you just want to leave something for the next car to pass by to see that something happened there, maybe this would be a better mode. You just have more options, and that's always good. The different options that you have, it's always a good idea. So here you see the different durations. Again, keep in mind the 20% increased efficiency and brightness. Strobe 12 hours, SOS 4 hours, beacon high 20 hours, and beacon low 100 hours. As I was saying, this would be the one that I would be using if I think it's going to be taking more time for them to find me. This is the one you would maybe using on a roadside kind of accident. More brightness, more visible, but less runtime. Just a very nice little flashlight. And the twisty user interface, it's not maybe as practical as a clicky button, but it is more rugged, it is more durable. That much I can assure you. It's maybe one of the most rugged mechanisms that you have. There's really not much that could go wrong. With a clicky, you have small parts that could wear and eventually break. Not so much with a mini. I'm gonna be leaving the link below for you guys to look into it. Probably these are available maybe in Amazon. So I'll leave the link there. Guys, that's all for now. Just remember to subscribe and like the video, share it with others if you liked it. And that's it, guys. Have a great day, take care, and see you on our next video.